I'm back. I'm back. I knew I'd get back on. I'm a sucker for pain. You know what I mean? Alrighty. So I got this idea in my head and I'm gonna see it through. I'm still gonna be focusing on this UI, but I'm gonna implement the keyboard, uh, the UI element key binding features and the controller support with controller key binding features. This should, in theory, allow you to menu incredibly fast and spend less time in menus. And it comes with the added bonus of full controller support for every menu, if you know what I mean. So I need to create some more items just to get what should I call it? Still club. Put that there. Get in. All right, so inventory. Images. Sword. Oh, I love you. I love you. He's such a thinker. That's my Russian blue. He loves playing fetch. He's the best. He's my favorite kitty. They're all running around having the time of their lives. 558,000 or 5,800 icons. 2.75 gigs. Good lord. I don't want to download that. Give me a smaller pack. Cool. I already got. Oh, there we go. Sword. Sword. This one. And then Horse Lord Sickle. What else? Combat or weapons. So we got axe, bow, crossbow, bow, let's do bow. Suddenly those icons are cut off. Primary. Hmm. That's good enough. Come on. So I'm just trying to create enough items to match these categories so I can get the menu popular, or the menu has enough elements in it to short sword and mace. Let's go. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 items. That's probably enough. Gun. Yeah, baby. You want to play ball? This cat loves playing fetch. He loves it. He's addicted to it. He's a junkie. Gun, science, martial arts. That's enough. Okay. So now let's go back here. So here's our textures. Here's our skills. And sword. More boo. Oh, he's so handsome. I love you so much. Let me throw it again. Throw it again. Ready. Try to bounce it out there. There you go. He is a good kitty. He'll keep bringing it back too, man. He's so smart. He'll go get it, bring it back to me, unless one of his brothers gets a hold of it. That's when the games usually stop. The Maine Coon doesn't quite get the concept of bring the ball back after chasing it. And Sushi just doesn't play that game at all. Which is funny. I will get descriptions in a second. And I'll do that a quick way. I'll show you. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Wooden mace, wooden club. We call this hammer. Club and hammer will be part of the mace category for now. Let's go sword, 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 sword. So we got one for each category: axes, scythe, and club, spear. We need spear. So categories we have now are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I want to do 10. Even though magic will not be a category, I'm going to put it as one for now just to get my 10th slot. Okay. So here's the plan for what I'm working on. I'm working on my crafting menu, but it will be the first menu to have the dynamic key bindings to the menu items, full controller support, keyboard support, and all the polish that will go into all the other menus. So I'm laying the groundwork for my menus going forward, and I'm gonna essentially the way I have this in my head, you'll be able to menu fast as hell. Typically, with just your left hand, you can work a menu like real quick. You can switch categories. You can pick a recipe, and then you can change your quantity, and then you can craft it all without lifting your left hand. And then if you have a controller, it's going to allow you to do that really quickly too, because the way I'm thinking through this is like the left trigger, all the keys on the left side, that all the glyphs you see linked to clickable menu items. When you pull the left trigger, then you can press the corresponding button to do it. So say the categories, you pull the left trigger and it like to get to swords is the A button. So left trigger A switches categories to swords, and now the recipe list is swords. And then yeah. So I basically want to make menuing super fast for people who leverage the system, and easy and intuitive without having to use a virtual mouse for like the controller. So you got like control, click, drag it. Like, no. I want to make menuing really, really powerful and fast. So you spend less time in the menus. And this is going to be that proof of concept. I'm pretty excited about it. Not gonna lie. Why did I do that? I was not ready for this. Okay, so I got all those. Now I need to go to the menu. Or no, the workbench. So go to crafting station. Where's the crafting menu? I can't remember what I'm doing. This should be on the station. Where's it reading? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. View model. That's it. Resource manager. Which I don't think that's where this should live, but for now I'm just gonna keep with it. That's a resource database. That's right. So we go back. Item definitions. Alt P. Alt P to pop up a non-inspector of an object so you don't keep losing it, or you can lock it in, but I'm not locking it in. So still acts wouldn't close. Okay, buddy. You ready for some more? Oh shit. It went under. Why can I not drag these? Should be able to. I'm lazy. Let me drag. So weird. Oh, these are recipes. I create the items, not the recipes. Okay, okay, okay. Thick. So there's 3, 6, 9, 10. So there's 2 here. Copy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will be the fire sword. I do want to put a recipe on each one of these. Something warm, but what is it, my bud? You just really want to play fetch. He's the fetchingest old boy I ever met. He's like a lightning bolt, dude. A lightning bolt. Alright, so spare. Gotta get this done. Staff. I don't know the plural of scythes. I think it's just ES. I will admit I'm not the smartest man who's ever lived. Recipe select delete. Now there we go. Okay, so we got our crafting station now has all the items. So if I hit play. You so handsome, buddy. How you get so handsome? There we go. We got a list of goodness on the left. Righty then. I don't know how many times I've thrown it now, but it is late night. It's 11:30 here. Now I need to get more recipes in each category. But that'll come in a minute. One sec. Ooh. Oh crap, hold on. Still X. Now that I got that, I need descriptions. So I'm gonna be lazy with. So here's the phases of implementing my dynamic UI key binding system. So, well, I'll come back to this conversation. I'm gonna keep grinding. Come on. All right, so descriptions are done. Those descriptions run off too long. All the item names fit in this little banner. Perfect. Oh, Bobo, you're so handsome, boy. You're so handsome. Yeah. I'm tired. I'm pooped out. You done with it? I'm just tired. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back. The Maine Coon can't match the speed of the Russian Blue. So this Rebel ice cream at Walmart, like 0 or next to no sugar. This one has 1 gram of sugar per pint. Pardon me. It's fucking amazing shit. Now this menu, I could actually like right bumper could keep flip through the categories, and then your D-pad could flip through the menu list. But to get down to size, that's six, one, two, 6, 7 clicks, and then however many clicks to get to the recipe you're after. The system I'm coming up with is you right trigger and you hit the corresponding button next to the category so you can instantly go down to size, and then you can click the button that corresponds to the recipe in the list that you want. I don't know why I grabbed ice cream. It looked good though, don't it? It looked good. Yeah, I'm gonna put this up. So now that we got that, we got enough categories where you see the A on each one is going to map to a key on the keyboard. And categories, I believe I will have mapped from 1 to 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you just kind of click on the number and switch category with one button press instead of having to menu down 7 times to get to a category. So all will always be 1. So you can quickly get back to the all category with the button press of 1. Yeah. Booyaka. Now I'm going to let's just see that work.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take the hardest, most interesting challenges in design and engineering and break down the solutions and the glorious, sometimes frustrating failures, so you don't have to wade through the data yourself.
Yeah, and today we're tackling something really fundamental.
We are diving deep into a foundational problem of modern interactive design, the console UI translation challenge.
Exactly. We're discussing what happens
I'm gonna
when a
listen to
game
this
world is
till
just
people show
so
up.
rich and complex. Think massive inventories, multi-layered skill trees, or, deep crafting systems.
Things fundamentally designed for the speed and precision of a mouse and
1 2
keyboard,
2 2
right?
2 2 2 2
Precisely.
2.
And then you try
Not
to
right.
port that whole experience to a console. You're basically trying to force all that high fidelity data density onto the limited, constrained inputs of a game controller.
Yeah, it's not just about making the text bigger or something. This is a real philosophical challenge.
Well, here's
How
a
do you
body.
map, I don't know,
He's
hundreds of
being very
potential
needy.
actions and manage thousands of items using just 2 analog sticks, 4 face buttons, and maybe 4 triggers?
And that's why certain genres like loot-heavy
You good
first-person
kitty
shooter
boy.
RPGs
Oh,
and those
yeah,
big
you are.
narrative CRPGs
My good kitty
often
boy.
feel, well, kind of clunky on a console sometimes.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to pull apart the successful concepts and, crucially, the critical failures from 3 really landmark titles.
Right. These games each took a
Ow.
radically different philosophical approach to solving this exact controller
Come here.
problem. And by dissecting them, we think we can build an actionable
Don't
blueprint
chew on that.
for maybe a superior interface.
He's in
Okay,
attack
so
mode
let's set
now.
the stage. We've got 3 philosophical paradigms that really define the state of the art here. First up, we have Destiny 2.
Ah, yes, Destiny 2 and the free-floating cursor paradigm.
All right. So I need to increment after I do that. And oh, you did grab the ball. You were addicted to playing fetch. One more time. Ready? That cat. I played fetch with this cat more than I played fetch with any dog. My dog's too old. You don't play fetch no more. Alright. So now let's go back and test. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I almost want to make all A. There we go. I may make all A. That way 1 through 0 will quickly let you switch to those categories, and then A, you go back to all. I'd be good with tab, but I don't think tab would look good right there. So let's test that out. So we got pick element. No, because I want to reserve tab possibly for closing menus or. And it doesn't, it's gonna bug me. Boo boo, what are you doing, buddy? Get off that. And cats are just rambunctious. Let's go with A for now. And I think I'm going to put these in brackets. See how that looks. So on keyboard, I got plenty of button options for this system. Obviously, very easy. Hey, cool kids, 343. Do you know Rimworld or Rimworld, Dwarf Fortress, or Elin? So I'm building the crafting menu for the craft or the every. This is the station UI for crafting. So this is a like for your weapons bench or whatever I'm gonna call it. Uh, if you played Rimworld, you kind of know what I'm after. Elin's more a obscure game, but basically it's a sandbox colony sim, life sim. Oh, nice, awesome. All right, again another rim or so let me show you the my procedural. So again, you're gonna be familiar with the kind of start of a new game here. So this game project is about 4 weeks old. I started on the 4th of last month. It's a little over 4 weeks. And I've been building out I've hand rolled all these systems myself. So let's go to World Gen. So once you start a new colony or whatever I'm going to call it, this is the procedural map gen or planet gen that I've got so far. So here you can, like, the yellow dots are settlements. The roads and the river generation is not good right now. I've got to still improve that. But just like if you see down here, temperature or if I click up here, -3 Celsius, rainfall, all that. And then if I go here and I rotate it, where's my inspector? Sorry. So you can kind of see the road networks are bad. They're building straight across oceans. They're beelining. The pathfinding algorithm I'm using to generate those is going to get massively improved along with the rivers. But this is another cool thing. So if I go to the scene and I go here, this represents the noise or the procedural data for the local map. So like you pick a map, you pick a spot on the planet and you go down there. So as I click around, you'll see the noise generation. So if I go to a hilly one, it was for me too. And this is my first time really tackling it. But here's been this is kind of a capstone too. So I've been using deep research to, when I want to build a feature out, I first do some deep research on it. Sorry. So here I did a deep research on comparative analysis of Destiny 2, Divinity Original Sin 2, and Baldur's Gate 3. And then from the deep research, what I do is I create a project plan with Canvas. So here I'll reference my recent one. Well, actually I got one right here. So I took my deep research. This one I actually talked through. I recorded myself in a video talking about what I wanted instead of typing it all out to Gemini. And I dumped it here. And then it gave me this project plan. So I didn't go deep research on this one first. Is it broken? Well, I created a website off the project plan here too, so you can see like the phases, but whatever. I export it all to my G drive all the time. Oh my gosh, wrong one. But it basically creates a project plan in phases. So now I've got phase 1, phase 2 of creating it with UI toolkit, and then So I want you to be able to. RimWorld doesn't have great controller support. Actually, I don't even think it has it by default. Like you kind of gotta use other stuff to really get controller support. Um, Elin has some decent controller support, but I want this game to be controllable. I'm building controller support from the beginning, so that's what I'm doing right now. But let me show you. Hold on a sec. My triplanar shader is a little off. And then, oh, there's some hot Rocky Mountains. There we go. So like here's the noise data or the Perlin or noise for that mountain area, which will be used when building the local map. And as you can see, like the noise changes, whatever. Here's the character creator. You'll be right at home here. And all these, like these UIs and shit, I've used Deep Research and Gemini to basically build it out because Unity's new UI tech, UI toolkit, is basically web design based. UXML documents are your HTML, the structure of your UI. Then you have your USS or your style sheet like CSS. Then I can build out these really complex UIs with my project plans and I use the project plans to keep the AI on track and my ADHD brain on track. So here I got, in randomize, you got your passions and all that. You got your weapon masteries, your combat skills, and then your general skills. Your favorite color, again, if characters wear their favorite color, they get a mood boost. Your childhood and adulthood. You're gonna have classes now. So you got a bunch of different races, a bunch of different classes, and it's all scriptable objects, data driven and decoupled, all these systems. Yeah, it's gonna be sweet, dude. So you can create your guys. You know this screen, obviously. Now you should look up Elin, ELIN, and it's the breadth of emergent gameplay and sandboxiness of it. And I'm following that model, so I'll show you that here next. So it's Rimworld. That's why the title of the video is Elin plus Rimworld. So here's your local map. And I will... It's freaking awesome. Like, it's so in depth. Like, the developer who built it he's just like the Rimworld dev. It's a solo dev. Like, Rimworld was just one dev for a long time. It's still really just one dev. He really drives everything for Rimworld. I've got his book coming. I'm going to be reading it, but I have massive respect for the Rimworld dev. And then Elin Noah as Nola and Ilona. It's a Western sandbox colony life sim. And then, so let me turn off this UI. So instead of you having God mode where you move around the camera, you're actually going to control the main protagonist. I've got the quads of the sprites have normal maps and a specular and occlusion. So the real-time lighting system I'm going for an Octopath Traveler look for the graphics. So let me, oops. No, I don't want, because I want a very controller-friendly game, I'm not going isometric. I may actually allow you to turn the camera to isometric, but I'm probably going to go with this perspective like Octopath Traveler. So you see like the blurry up here and then like the blurry down here. So this map here is based off of that Perlin noise from the planet generation. the character and the pathfinding and stuff here, I wrote all this local map gen. Right now I'm still tweaking densities, and these assets here aren't going to be the final assets. But if you look here, this is going to be the graphical fidelity, right? Dude, I don't know if you've ever built a like a local map gen like this that spawns tons of stuff. There's 99 different models or prefabs that can spawn. And typically with systems like this, you add the thing, you set the density, you set what vegetation is required, or what fertility. Is it only on rocks? Does it avoid rocks? Positional offsets, rotation, random rotations, random scales. You got to do that for item. It takes forever. It's a very boring, time-consuming process, because maybe this prefab of mushrooms, its pivot point is weird, so you got to offset it. Thankfully, all these assets, their pivot points at the bottom of the mesh, so I didn't have to do anything. But I came up with this really badass system where I can point. It's a biome populator, and I pointed at a folder of 3D models or prefabs, and they have certain naming conventions in them, and it will automatically build up the biome details, and it will so if it sees trees like birch, pine, all that, it will give those trees the default the spawning rules for trees, and if it sees mushrooms, it'll give them. So basically, within a few clicks, I can take a folder of 3D models and create a new biome, and to have it look pretty damn good right out the gate. Then I just got to kind of tweak things. Instead of me adding in Unity, adding 99 items and hitting the sliders and doing all this, hundreds and thousands of clicks, I get it done fast with these tools I built. So the biomes are going to come pretty fast, but right now I just got this one. And I want your movement to be fast. Yep. So I've built like these, every little menu here is like, helps me build out all of the different assets and stuff. And like, it helps me just grind through a lot of the monotonous stuff. So I built a lot of Unity tools to help me get through the stuff fast. So let me open up Elin so you can kind of understand how the movement's going to be. It's a turn-based game, kind of. Like, you can pause time in Rimworld, right? But in this, if I'm not moving or if I'm not performing an action, the time is stopped, even though the day and night cycle is not linked to me yet, because it's just going nonstop. But this will kind of show you kind of how it's gonna look. So as I move around in Elin, you see how like the NPCs just instantly kind of go to their new position. They're doing real pathfinding and stuff, but it allows for a turn-based type of game. Well, I don't even like to call it turn-based, but this is technically turn-based. So like, every time I take an action, there's a queue and everybody has to take actions. But unlike at XCOM, so like if you do on XCOMs, like, oh, I move my guy, I gotta wait for this guy to move, I gotta wait for this guy to move, and all the entities on the map, you gotta wait for them to move. Here, it all happens at the same time, and the way that is happening is because these guys just kind of teleport to their new positions. But the combat is, you know, they're like here. This is a way you can build up your defense. Here is like having your friends and your base like beat your ass. Elin's weird in a lot of ways, but it's crazy in depth. Watch some videos on Elin, dude. It's really cool game. So you see this is the crafting menu here. So you got your categories, you got your recipe list, your product here, and a lot of little buttons. What I'm working on right now, so that's the vibe I'm going for. you know, like Elin, but Rimworldy. And I have it to where like the AI have goals and needs and everything. Just like Rimworld, I modeled the character psychology and mood systems off of Rimworld, and I have an AI storyteller, like, but I call it AI director. Um, so you'll be able to pick, you know, like Randy Random or whatever you want, and then I think everybody's back from Six Flags. But again, I want controller support. I want to be able to play. I've always wanted to play Rimworld and Elin. Elin has decent controller support, but so I'm building controller support out the gate. So right now, what I'm implementing is how that's going to work and how you're going to menu with keyboard and mouse and controller. And I think I've come up with something really cool. Um, hold on, I gotta let the dog out. Copper, come on. Copper, go.
What are you doing?
All right, all right, all right. So you got your categories over here, but you see how you got A2. Well, crap. That should be 1. Whatever. It should be 1 to 10. So you're gonna when your keyboard and mousing, right? This menu you should be able to manipulate and do the crafting menu with your left hand without even like really. Well, not. I guess you got to click over here, but you can easily every clickable or interactable element on the menu is going to be mapped to a keybind. So when this screen's up, I could hit 3 and go to bows without having to mouse over and click it, and then I could hit the keybind that corresponds to the recipe I want, and then I can hit modify the quantities with another keybind, and then hit C or whatever to craft it. So you can menu really quickly, and complex menus you can kind of use that. That's what I'm working on, but it's also going to work for controllers. So I've got it where you can, I'm working this all out right now. So I don't have the controller stuff in there yet, but like say you pull left trigger and then you can hit one of your buttons. It'll show like the keyboard button right there instead of numbers, or the controller button, and you hit it like X to go to bows, or like B to go to staves. And then you can quickly click on your recipe, and then you can quickly modify the thing and then craft. So I'm trying to make it to where menuing works really well on PC, keyboard, mouse, or with a controller, and it also would facilitate porting to console because it's got deep controller integration. So right now I'm going to fix this here, and then I'm going to wire these up to the keyboard. I've got the inventory system built. It's modeled heavily after Elin, which again, if you dig into that more, you'll see how really cool that system is. I've got my inventories. I've got your skills. Yeah, I'm hoping to go for it, like, and I've got the health systems just like Rimworld. Every body part and organ and system is simulated. So like, if you lose your arm, and I have prosthetics, you can replace your limbs with prosthetics, all that. Like, yep, 4 weeks. This is how powerful my workflow is. Like, I want, and again, I say, okay, I think out the feature, I write it up, I create a deep research off of that, I save that deep research to Google Drive. I then take that deep research document, give it to Gemini Canvas, typically. I've been really Gemini focused. And then I have a project plan built from the deep research report in phases. And then I start working through that feature's code, each phase, with the AI, or I start it out, write it out, whatever. Depends on whichever's easier. And then I always say I want a scriptable object, data-driven, event-driven system that's decoupled. And so all these systems are individual systems that I could pull out and use in different games in the future, or I could sell in the asset store. So that's my workflow, really, right there. And I've been able to make hella strides. Like if you join or hop in the Discord, you can see where I started this last month on the 4th. And this is all I've accomplished since then. I just knowledge dump and just all kinds of nerdy shit in my Discord. It's just me ADHD dumping. And then my socials are on the screen there. Okay, so A goes back to all category, 1 through 0. Shit. Okay, that's another thing I gotta fix. 10 has to be 0. So, again, I'm doing this kind of as a capstone because I'm going to be a keynote speaker at one of the top colleges in the world in November. The University of British Columbia up in Canada. And I'm just a down home college dropout from Missouri. Like, this is just crazy, like how much AI, like, well, I've been programming since I was 11 years old. I've loved programming all my life. So it's just exciting to be able to present with doctorates and all these other really, really smart people that have gone to all kinds of schooling, and I'll be, talking to them at one of the best colleges in the world. My G drive is just deep research reports. So here's the other hack I got for you, or trick. So you can take your deep research reports and you come into Notebook LLM, and then you can create these really amazing podcasts. So you do a deep research about what you want to do, bring that over here, and then I create these really long AI podcasts or mind maps and stuff like that. But like I'll just sit there and as I'm at work, I'll listen to these podcasts and like learn about the systems I'm wanting to build. So this is about this is about what I'm doing now.
If you've ever tried to build a UI system in a game that feels really modern, fast, responsive, handles controllers and mouse smoothly, you definitely know the pain points. So today, we're aiming to cut right through that complexity.
Yeah, hopefully simplify things a bit.
Our focus is on a pretty detailed architectural plan. It's for a dynamic UI key binding system, specifically designed for those complex interactions, like think of a deep crafting menu in an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
The goal isn't just making the menu work, it's about making it lightning fast to navigate using hotkeys. And the key thing is,
I think so.
These hotkeys change based on what you're actually looking at on screen.
Up to a point for
we're diving into
I
a
have the
system
$20
built entirely
sub to
on
Google's
the,
AI.
let's say the latest Unity stack.
And I
so
think
UI
you
Toolkit,
get
the new
more
input system
from it,
package
but I do
running
think
on
this is
Unity
free.
6.2, hopefully.
Right.
The vision, it sounds simple, but
So as you're listening to that
quite
podcast, you can kind of follow
dynamically
along
mapping
in the mind
keyboard
map.
keys or maybe controller buttons directly to visible UI elements.
On the fly. So our mission today is
what
really
I found
to
from this
uncover the
mind map
how.
was what really
We want
got
to get
me.
into the architectural choices that make
Divinity
this dynamic
Original
mapping
Sin
possible,
2
get that clear visual feedback, and
seemed to be a real
most importantly,
standout.
handle that seamless switching between keyboard and gamepad.
Yeah, seamless.
But anyways, I dumped the research docs I do and the AI podcast and all this other stuff in my Discord as well. But this is my workflow. Every single feature you've seen me do, it's been this. And again, in 4 weeks, which again, you can scroll up in the Unity dev channel and see where I started. Because I was working on just a proof of concept for a Parasite E1 combat system in Unity. And then I discovered Elin, and holy shit, man. Like you watch Seth's video on Elin, hey people. You'll really understand. Or well, again, that's how I found Elin, and then I've just been watching tutorials, let's plays. I've watched more videos on Elin than I've actually played it in the last month, and I just discovered it recently. But Elin's been a big inspiration, and then Rimworld, Rimworld. Oh my gosh, I love Rimworld to death. Like So a controller first Rimworld Elin is it had just lit my fire. And I think I hold on. I actually broke 200 followers on Twitch today. It's been a big day for me. Yep. And again, I get to kind of model it, or um, 10. There we go. So now it should properly index the tabs on the right, the category tabs. All right, so A for all, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 0. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is wire these up to the input manager. And then I can, if I want, I can hit guns here with 4. And then I can hit A to go back to all. And then I'll get the these all linked up. I think this is going to be about, what was it? 3, 6, 9, 10. I think I want to follow the rule of 10 because I can easily map 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Yeah, so from Q to T, A to G will let you, the numbers will let you quickly pick a category. Then you can quickly pick your recipe. And then Z and X will increase quantities up or down. And then C will craft. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so essentially you should be able to open up a menu and like once you've got the key, like you get used to the key binding system, you can just like instantly like boom, 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 and like work a menu and then move on. So you're spending less time in the menu and more time, playing. Now I should use the new input system. I should use it. But it's so easy to just like go default to the old input system. Yeah, and that's why I'm gonna have there's gonna be visual indicators next to every element. So the first part of everything, like every button or list item that you can click on will have the key. So basically when you're in a menu, the controls switch to the menu system, like that menu specifically. And then you can see visually, so here I go down instead of mousing over, hitting this and then that and that. I can just do 6A or 6F, increase quantity with X twice, and then hit C to craft. And there'll be like indicators next to everything that has a keybind. So again, as you get more and more familiar with that system, you should be able to menu super fast. And then the controller is going to kind of be the same way, but it's going to be a little. There's 3 logical spots here, and really, when you're holding down the trigger or whatnot, there's about 13 keys available. So, like, say I hold left trigger down, and that's categories, and then the glyphs, all the things right here will change to images of what key on the keyboard or controller it maps to, and I can quickly switch categories. And then left trigger will allow me to quickly switch to recipes. And then when I'm nothing held, it'll work the main panel, the big panel here, and I can quickly increment quantity and then craft. Instead of like a digital cursor where you move your stick and you move the mouse, I think I'm still going to have that to where you can, your right stick will move the mouse around and you can then click on shit. But I'm gonna, if I get this right, you can menu super fast with a controller just like you can with a keyboard and mouse. And that's my goal with this system. All right, so I need to create an action set for this menu. I'm gonna do it right. I'm not gonna use the old input system. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for now. It's gonna be some setup to get it into the new input system, and I want to see it working. I can always get it back. Unity. So you got the old Unity input system. So like here, I can right here in the code and go input dot or input dot get key, and then key code F. You know, like, and put that in an if statement. Like, so this is the old input system. The new one is the right way architecturally to go. It's improved. It supports keyboard and mouse out the box real easily. There's a lot of good stuff about the new keyboard or input system, but you got to set up your you got to set it up. And I have a fast way of doing that. So here's the new input system. So like here's the player's controls, left stick, WS and AS and D, and like it's more robust. It handles more devices. Etc., etc. There's a lot of good stuff about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the the lazy part of me is gonna go with the old system just to see this working. So I'm gonna use agents to do. I need to check in actually. Hold on. I'm not checked in a minute. Super important before I go crazy. Anytime I use coding agents, I always check in before they do shit, just in case something happens. And I don't give them the ability to like create or delete or databases or checking code or anything like that. But I still just check in the code, so I have a way to go back if an agent just goes too nuts. And it's not going to right here. This is going to be a simple thing, but you'll get to see what an agent looks like. using the old Unity, I want to it should switch to the all category and update the UI then for 1 through 0 it should switch. Yeah, I've spent the most of my time in C# over the years, but once you learn one programming language, it's not hard to jump into others. So if I got a job doing, because I do C# at work too, but if I got a job doing C++ or Java or whatever, I could, acclimate pretty quickly again. Even though, because again, a lot of the concepts are the same between languages. You got if statements, you got variables, you got, classes, functions, all that. Very interchangeable once you have done enough of one language. It just sucks, you get comfortable in one. I probably wouldn't take a job that isn't C#. But if the money was right. All right, let's see if it nails it. 2, I mean, AI and stuff has been really great because again, I've reviewed tons of code over the years. I've written tons of code. It saves me so much like carpal tunnel and repetitive stress injuries from just typing or writing out novels. That's the biggest win with AI to me. Yeah, I don't know. Unity's never failed me performance wise enough to where I have to go to C++. Um, I've used AI to compare C#, C++, and assembly languages at the same programming problem. And assembly always is just blows them out of the water with speed. C++ obviously is going to be the next step, and then C#. But you use stuff like, I don't know, just silly stuff like that. All right, so if we press A, we switch to that. If we do that, we update that. All right, looks good. Let's keep it and test it. Oh yeah. And I feel like C plus plus is a real hassle if you don't, unless you're into Unreal. Um, but for every video game project or thing that I've set out to do, C Sharp and Unity has handled it just fine. And then with the burst and the job system and then ECS on top of that, you can get, if you really need performance, you can squeeze it out even more inside of Unity. But again, my pathfinding, I mean, everything I do, I've never hit a bottleneck hard enough that I needed to go to C plus plus or Unreal or, really even use the jobs or burst system to in Unity. So, are you writing a game from scratch or are you in like Unreal? All right, moment of truth. Let's hit six. Six. We switched hit A to go back to all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Menuing like a goddamn champion, like a speed demon. All right. Next up, recipe panel. Oh, nice. I've tried to roll my own game engine before, or like build a game from nothing, or with no edit engine. What was your text based game? Cool. We're porting all our legacy C++ systems at work to C sharp. We from different mergers with different companies or whatever. Our old legacy systems are all Java and C++, and we've got most of the legacy C++ code ported to C sharp now. Fucking like a glove, man, like a glove. I almost don't. Oh, gotcha. You're the old ultimate QA tester as well. I need to add one more item, or I need to add like 3 to 4 more items for this test. Let me do that real quick. So everything in the game is a data data object, or right? So like I don't have to write new code to add a new item to the game. I just come in here and I can add it real quickly. Copy this. Red Dawn sword. Just making up some BS. It's gonna have the same icon. I'll make the recipe for it. So here I've created the item definition and the recipe definition real fast. Yeah, so like Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead is one of my favorite games, and it's also one part of the inspiration too. So again, if you watch Seth Hey Hey People video on Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead and Elin, you'll get a vibe for why I'm after that. But it's written in C++, and almost everything is a JSON object or JSON uh, in the game. So they've built out their data system that way. Oh fuck, dude. Hell yes, like it's so rare that I find people that, like know it, played it. Oh man. I love Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, dude. Like I watched Vormithrax, Raycon, Worm Girl, all kinds of YouTube content on it, and then I played a shitload of it. I'm gonna contribute to that repo. I'm gonna do it. I just haven't yet. Um, so much respect for that world and those devs. Truly, probably the greatest open source game project that I can think of. And when you think about depth of features and oh man, it's just I love CVA. And now you see why I'm going with the system I'm going with too. I move real fast. The NPCs just kind of move, but they don't. I'm not going to wait on them to path. And the combat's going to stay tight, and just like CDA, it'll be like the bump attacking. Um, but my range combat's going to be a lot more fluid than CDDA. And if you watch Elin's combat, again, you'll get a vibe for what I'm going for combat wise as well. Okay, what am I thinking here? Oh, more gears, more buttons. I'm just gonna call it. I'm just gonna be lazy and say 2. So that should one more just to get the list long enough for this test. I need the list to be longer than the container so I can validate this. Vormithrax's Battle Arc series on CDAs was a good one. He built a giant ass fucking. He just spent tons of time building this monster vehicle with a bunch of cages on the side, and he's just going around tricking the monsters that walk into the cage. And it's basically an arc. He was trying to collect all the monsters in CDDA into the battle arc. It's like a mobile arc. It was so cool. That's a good series. Red Dawn Sword. There we go. Alright. That should give me enough items for this list. hate that scroll bar. Yep. Yep. Yeah, CDA and other games have led me down those rabbit holes. I'd watch a lot of video game retrospectives and like PC 88 games, like anything gaming. Like if I'm not, you know, dicking with game dev, I'm usually watching a video on YouTube about a retrospective on it. So yeah, actually ADOM, what is ADOM? I don't know if that one rings a bell. NetHack does though. I used to play MUDs, Art of Wolf, multi-user dungeons, the text-based dungeons. Actually, do I still have Mush client? Yeah. Yeah, I don't have it configured though. Art of Wolf is my favorite MUD. I still have an account on there. Like that game has been going hard for since I was a kid. I need to reskin this damn scroll bar. It is atrocious. Why is the scythe causing the UI to slightly jump? We'll be watching YouTube videos on it tonight. That sounds good. There's this old game. I used to go to my neighbor's house. They had a PC way before my family did. And I think it was NetHack that I was watching them play. But I don't know, man. It's another game like there's secret walls. Does NetHack have like secret door walls? I can't remember. I've been trying to find this game I used to watch him play as a kid, and I cannot think of it, or it just eludes me. I may have already found it, but it's just like it looks so fun. I think it's the description that's causing the UI jumps, which is weird. Oh no, I know what I need to do. I need to margin and clamp this guy. Or margin him or pad him. Anyways, I'll move on from that. Also this, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. AWED or A or QWERT. Trust me, I know that feeling all too fucking well, man. Yeah, I know it all too well. Because I try to explain what I'm going after. What I need to do is sit down and write up what I'm trying to accomplish, but in a way that people have never heard of, like Elin, CDDA, and the games that I'm kind of modeling after, they can still understand it. Should give me a follow, man. Definitely stop back by because I'm gonna make really good progress on this over the next few months, and hopefully I can ship it faster than ever now because AI. But it should be a reminiscent experience to that. Um,
Awesome. Awesome to the max.
thank you. Really? Yeah, I don't. I I actually don't watch streamers very much. Rarely, actually. I usually watch them like videos after the fact that they've uploaded. Um, yeah, I don't. Weirdly enough, where is the icon for this guy? So we got some scrolling, or we got some spacing issues to take care of. This level 1 shit can go. I don't want that there. All that information can be over here, but I'm also not probably going to have like levels to the weapons. Yeah, and again, like anytime you ever want to kind of talk through code and shit, I'm always down. Always down. I love programming. I love shooting the shit on it. Let me get rid of that level 1 element. See how this, if this lays out better. Actually, I can just put this line back in and keep it there for now, just in case I do want it later, which I probably won't. Yeah, I say I've got a lot of years under my belt. I've been with, a lot of big companies. So any concept you again like try that workflow I told you, man. Deep research, create the project plan, and then work through the project plan in Canvas. So like here, even though this is bugged out. There it is. All right, so basically here, like I would say, okay, let's start working on phase 1, and it would spit out the code for phase 1, and then I would add the code to the editor or whatever, and then I'll say or as I'm going, I'd say review. Another cool thing is you can go here, import code, upload folder, and I point it at my scripts folder, and I give it my code base, so it can review the code against the project plan. So I basically it'll keep updating the project plan. It'll mark this off as complete, and then we'll move on to phase 2 and mark this off as complete once we're done. And say I get through phase 3 partially, then come back tomorrow. I'll be like, I'll give it the code base again. I'll be like, all right, where are we at in the plan? And it will mark it, say like 75% done with phase 3. And basically, I work through features like that. And again, in the deep research prompt or in the project plan with Canvas, again, Canvas is how you get it into this mode. I always tell it, I ask for, data driven or, whatever architectural goals I have to keep it, decoupled and, optimized and all that good stuff. And periodically I'll give it the code base and say, do a code review, find any bugs or optimizations that could be made, or any code smells and etc. And that's my whole workflow these last 4 weeks. And all my videos are on YouTube. If you go to my link tree here, all my live streams are there from this project and stuff I've done in the past. So I love spitting about programming. All right, now the icon, everything's lining up better. No UI jumps when I'm clicking around. This is ugly as sin. I will fix that. But essentially, what I need to do is now there needs to be the key that is bound to each one of these items. And then as I scroll, whatever is visible in the viewport here will, and these, whatever the keybinds are for this list will always be the same from start to bottom. So you can start to muscle memory, like, oh, Q is always going to be the first one. W will be the second one in this list. But as it scrolls, it's going to update. It's going to take the keybind, or assign it to update the keybind letter here. So you can go category, recipe, quantity, craft, real quick. Just like old roguelikes, you can do most of everything with the keyboard. Like, you almost don't have to have, well, some of them you just, yeah, there is no mouse support. It's all keyboard. So that's my my design philosophy I'm going for with menus and GUIs and the interfaces in the game. And it'll have full controller support and a similar system. So it's pretty exciting. Like, I'm kind of pumped about this idea. I'm going to be working on this, getting this fully functional with keyboard and mouse. Polishing up where I need to. I need to adjust some margins here. This text needs to be more centered in the parchment paper. I'm probably going to pad these labels over into to where everything kind of sits in this little center area better. So cool. You're gonna be able to just fucking, if you're a good keyboard typer, you should be able to work this game crazy fast. All right. Ooh. This being kind of, I wanted to dedicate all this to this left side of the keyboard, but I only need 10 keys. What is A just feels right to go back to all. I would do tilde, but that symbol is probably not, people are going to see it and not know. And tab, I don't want to do tab because I'm going to use that probably to open and close menus. I think A is just going to stay A. Or all category. So if I'm down here, I hit A, it goes right back to that. Very nice, very nice. So now I need to add, in this, I need to add a text. I probably should just get letter images because yeah. I freaking love, I'll definitely play your game once you get going. Again, I grew up playing a lot of text-based games. Art of Wolf especially was, man, I want to get, oh yeah, I got a deep research about how to use Artwolf basically has a mode to where it spits out the game content in like a JSON format, so you can build scripts in Lua against it. But I could now with AI, my local AI running, I could run an AI model on my 4090 and have it kind of. I kind of want to, yeah, get it to where it can grind and explore the world in a passive mode and level a character. That'd be kind of cool. But no, I need to work on my video game. No side projects. Till its game is shipped. No side projects. Oh, I may call it here. I could get the recipe menu done, but I'm gonna. It's 1 a.m. where I'm at. I ended this. This is my second stream today because I got like, I don't know, hungry and tired like earlier, but then I got a second wind. It's good meeting you though, man. It's really cool. Yeah, I appreciate you stopping in, and again, it's rare to find someone who's played like Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead or even knows what it is. And some of the older stuff too, man. Always cool to meet people. Well, alrighty. I will talk to you later. Alright, hell yeah. I'm down. Good luck with your game, man. And have a good one.